Okay, so we're going to do this again. I'm going to try and talk slow. I'm going to try not to drop the F-bomb. I'm going to try and really allow you to wrap your mind around something everybody's a little confused about. And I'm not saying that I am the be-all, end-all for this, but when we're done, maybe this will help you understand. This number right here is how many websites are currently up. So that's 1,291,781,000, and as you can see, this number continuously goes up. Now this video is targeted for automotive aftermarket. Everything I'm going to talk about is e-commerce structured websites and the struggles that you may be having with your website. I want you to understand that out of all of these, 97% of these will never make $1. They're not all e-commerce, right? They're sometimes blog sites or other sites, but so 97% of all websites that go up on the internet fail. That still leaves 3% that don't. There is a lot of money on the internet, and everyone wants a little piece of it. But there is no magic that happens here. There is just some work that has to be done. So I'm going to go over what tools you need to be able to try and rank your website to get the search engines to send you traffic. Now there's a lot that's involved with this. It's like a recipe, right? And so just like on a recipe, if you don't follow the steps, you don't get a cake, you don't eat, you get a biscuit, right? So too much of one ingredient, not enough of another one, oven temperature wrong, right? So it all has to work together. And so you might think, well, I can't compete with the big boys. Well, you probably can't for price. But I'm going to show you here where a little bit of time and how consumers are searching, you actually can compete with the big boys, right? So I want you to consider this no matter what you spent on your website. I know people who have Wix and Weebly and GoDaddy sites. You can turn this video off. That is not a site that is ever going to get you traffic. It just isn't structured correctly. The free sites don't have a lot of these tools. Everybody else, if your cousin or your pizza delivery boy made your website, then you're going to go back to him and you're going to tell him this kind of thing. But putting money behind your website, whether it be dollars or your time, it really isn't a fair comparison to how much you spent on your website. I've seen websites that people spent a few thousand on. I've seen websites that they spent a few million on, and lots of them that they've spent over 100,000 on. Doesn't mean it's a better website. It means they spent a lot of money on it, right? But if they're not doing this secondary step, then they're spending the rest of their money on pay-per-click and a lot of time on Facebook, and that's fine. But if you don't want to do that and you want to ever have a website that's bringing traffic in, it's going to require you to understand the information I'm going to give you right now. So we'll go ahead and get rid of this at the moment. We're going to start on our Streamline site, right? And I've gone to running boards. So I'm going to start with this because this is kind of easy for us to understand. People are searching the internet for products to purchase. They search different ways on the internet. You have to have some tools before you ever start working on your website. You have to have some tools so you understand how they're searching and what they're searching so you can do something about it and hopefully have the search engines send you traffic. Now, the things we're going to talk about right now are just a few small areas that the search engines use to determine if they're going to bring traffic to your website. There's over 200 reasons a search engine could bring you to the front of a Google search, right? But I'm going to bring you, I went in and I Googled running boards up here. And of course we have the ads. And then we have 10 spots. That's all. 10 spots. And we could keep going on and on and on for a long time. But again, best place to hide a dead body, right? On the second page of Google, because no one's looking there. So let's talk about running boards. There is something you're going to see on this, and this is just because I have a plug-in. You won't see that on yours, but I have some SEO plugins on my browser, and so it lets me have a little bit more information. So let's just talk about what you see on every one of these that came up. You see running boards, right? You see what you searched for. You also see that word in their URL, right? Every one of them. Now this is going to go, this is a little longer URL, but if you'll look at the very bottom, even though you're not seeing that, look at that little spot right at the very bottom. It says running boards. It also says it here, and here, and here. And Google even went, dude, you wanted running boards. Look what I found for you. So if you don't have it in a title, in the URL, or in your meta description, what do you think your chances of coming up on the front page are? Well, I'll tell you, that's 0. 0. Now, that's not true. You could pay a lot of money for an ad, and a majority of the population won't click on an ad because they assume you're going to have to charge more for it. Your competitors love to click on ads. Now, pay-per-click is not a bad way to start if you want to start getting some sales while you're waiting for your organic traffic, but it's something that you constantly have to do if that's the only thing you're going to do. So, again, I'm not making this up. If you don't have those names in there of what people are searching for, you're simply not going to come up. How do you find out how they're searching? So there's some tools you're going to want. And what are we talking about anyway? We're talking about aftermarket. And so your whole website has a sitemap, and it allows the search bots, which I think Google re-indexes every 3 days on every website, and that's a lot to do. But anyway, so they're looking at your entire site, and what I'm showing you here is a category. It's not a page. So let's talk about the difference between a page and a category. A page is where your product is, and so if I click on this, there's actually a page, and it has a title, and it has hopefully a meta description if your website is set up to take it from the description on the product, and that's fine. Those are standard. Those are pages. But what you're seeing right here is not a page. This is called a view, right? So there's a view that, depending on how we got there, maybe we went to Raptor and then running board, or Jeep and then running board, then Raptor, right? So depending on how a website is set up, you could get there a lot of different ways. And these are not stagnant on the page. Again, so this is just a collection of, depending on what your consumers clicked over here, that pulls up things that are tagged to that. And so this is, again, an area where your titles are important and your image URLs are important, because even if you did a great job on optimizing this category, but none of your titles for your parts, none of the descriptions, none of that says running boards, well, then the search engines are going to go, okay, it says it, but it doesn't look like there's anything else on the page that has that on there. So we're going to talk about running boards and how did we determine if we even wanted to use running boards. So get your pen out. Don't know how many people I've sent to SEO book. It's free. Don't go into the pricing because it'll say their paid accounts are closed, and you don't have to use SEO book. There are other keyword tool software I used to use Google Keyword Tool, and it was awesome. Then they moved it from their own site, which was Google Keyword Tool, into their AdWords. And it's still, okay, you still had to, get in there and make something, but you could still use it. And then a while back, I was looking, and I was expecting to see results like this, right? 2,667 people are searching this, and what I saw instead was between 10 and 100,000 people search this word. So I was very confused, and so I Googled what happened, and I wasn't the only one confused. There was a ton of people going, well, what just went down? I spent an hour on the phone with Google AdWords, which are great people. They really will help you if you're trying to spend money with them. But he spent an hour trying to convince me that nothing changed, and I just needed him to admit that it did, and he would not. So anyway, so before you change any of your categories, and this is an easy one, most of your websites are going to come over with this as a category, but so many of your websites are not going to have the right keyword. So like your top categories, exterior parts and car care. Nobody searches that, right? But that is to get them onto your home page. Maybe you have air and fuel. Maybe you have engine. Maybe you have, different top level categories that nobody's searching for. Leave them alone. Because ideally, if you're doing this right, they're not coming to your home page. They're searching Google. And again, this is not going to, Real Truck. This is not going to realtruck.com. This is going to a URL that is realtruck.com /running board. So you're not coming into your home page. You're coming in on this category, right? And so let's get back over here. So without knowing how you're going to optimize this portion of it, and we are only talking about the categories right now, we're not talking about the parts. And the reason we're not talking about optimizing the parts themselves is ideally you're using ASAP data, and I've spent my time optimizing your titles, but that's a never-ending process. You might get 50, 70, 100,000 parts on your website. There is no way that you're going to be able to optimize all of them before they go outdated and they get discontinued, and you just don't want to do that anyway. And there's reasons for that, and maybe we'll go over that on another video. But if you want something you can start and finish, then this is what we're talking about, right? So, so we go and we look at how many people are searching running boards, and then we see some other different things they're looking for. Interesting. So my category choice for running boards is acceptable. 16,440 people searched that. Now, if I had Weston on my website and I went, now that's interesting, I could also, again, ideally, if you click on Weston and then running boards, it should bring you to this category URL structure, and you could go for that as well. But you don't want to go for everything on one. So every single page, every single URL on your website is in itself an opportunity to be on the front page. But you're never going to, that's not true. It's not never. Sometimes you'll have running boards and you will, maybe not for running boards because it's a very popular item, but some of the less popular searches, maybe that one URL will rank you for maybe 4 or 5 different ways people are searching. But you can't count on that. And so the more you try to get, if you had running boards and Nerf bars and the chances are you're diluting the running board, right? Because the search engines are trying to bring a consumer to what they want, and they wanted running boards. At least 16,444 of them, right? Again, AMP, good deal. Do we have that on a website? If we did, then this is when we get a chance to actually create those URLs by just going to your own website and clicking on it, right? So if I was to go here and go Raptor, then you're going to see that running boards and Raptor series show up. So it needs to be here. Now, I probably would have went Raptor first, then running boards, because again, it depends on how they're searching for it. But those words have to be in the URL, right? So I'm going to get rid of that. If your website doesn't do this, talk to your website developer, right? Because this is an important step for you. And sure, you can stop just at running boards, but now that you know there's a bunch of other people looking for different things, you can make sure that you have that structure on your website. So the first thing you want to do is find what they're looking for. So let's look at engine, for example. How many people are searching for an engine? Well, nope. So you might have a category on your website that says engine. What about engine parts? Well, there we are. 3,222 people a month search the word engine parts. That's a great primary category that you might want to put on your website. But you're not going to get data from me or from SDC or from DCI or from anyone else that probably says engine parts, because we're working off of a terminology that was developed by AutoCare for their ACEs and PIs, and there are set names that they have given to things, and those names, for 99% of them, they were given before the internet happened, right? And so there's some funky names, and you're going to get some really weird things in your category tree, and that should excite you, because that is your opportunity to stand out, right? So if you had all kinds of engine parts, great. What if you were just a car site? Well, look at that. Car engine parts, marine engine parts, diesel engine parts, Honda engine parts. And yeah, you're going to have to go back through your data. Hopefully you can export off your website, take a look at what you have, spend a minute and become intimate with what you're trying to sell. Because if you don't say these words, if you don't have the word car engine part on your website, do you know how many times you'll be on the front page for that? That would be 0, right? 0. And this does not guarantee you, just like a pay-per-click, that if you rank #1 for this, that you're going to sell 9,000 of these. What it will guarantee you that if you can get in front of 9,000 people in a month, I don't care if you're selling poop in a bag, you're going to sell some, right? Unless you're just crazy and you haven't paid attention to shipping and pricing and competition, but that's not what this is about. This is about how are you going to take that website and have the search engines bring you traffic, right? And so first, get yourself some kind of keyword tool. Create yourself a CSV, an Excel, something that you are calling your keyword ranking, and put on it, a header. This is a keyword, this is what the search is, because a lot of times you're going to be torn. You're going to go, well, should I use this or should I use that, right? So pick the best use of it. Pick the highest use of it. And sometimes you can kind of shove both of them in there. But don't do that very often, because you're trying to get exactly what that person is searching for. So on your website, in this particular case, and again, this is on one of our streamlines, if you can't do this, and you have to have your web developer tell you how, have them create this for you, right? We use path-based meta tags. So as you can see, because it's a view, there's no title up here, and there is no meta description. So I'm going to click right here, and I know, so this is my path. I'm never going to touch that. I'm going to give it a title, and I'm going to say running boards. And then I'm going to make it look pretty. And I'm going to say streamline supersite. Now, you're not going to say that. You're going to say, you know, my domain, you know, whatever you are. Make it look nice and tight. Do not put .com in there unless .com is one of your business, you know, your logo name. But make that look nice, because that is what's coming up here, right? So you see how Real Truck, now they use a dash, I use a pipe, I just think it's cleaner, whatever. But they have their name here. Now that's helping for a lot of reasons. Maybe that customer's not buying right now, but they see Real Truck, and Real Truck wants them to see it over and over and over again so they can remember Real Truck. So you want to do that on your website as well. And you want to make it proper, right? Capitalize the first one, don't put extra spaces, don't put commas, put either a pipe or a dash, right? Now, I still, on mine, have a place for keywords, and I only use this if I'm doing SEO, because I want to know, did I want to go for running boards or running board, right? But Google's not paying attention to that anymore. But you can put it there if you want to. One keyword. You putting 27 keywords is just a waste of everybody's time, and that might make you feel comfortable and happy that you're busy, but it's not going to bring you any money, so knock it off, right? All right, and then here is your place for your meta description. So because it's not a page and it doesn't have any already predetermined content on it, right, because content's going to change, this is your opportunity for this little area right here, right? This is what they give to someone to entice them to click on it. And so you see, Real Truck's pretty smart. They've used running boards twice. As if you can, right, then that's a good thing. So this is what you want to tell someone. What is it you want to tell them to make them click on it? You have about 160 characters, all right, and that's about 20 words. So you have 20 words to try and entice not only a customer to click on your link, but also the search engines to determine if that content is good enough for this guy to be on the front page. So when you take a shortcut on this and you don't do 20 words and you do 10, or you do 7, or you put a space and then a period and then this is not a rush, right? This is all about quality and not quantity. So the human brain can only come up with interesting stuff for X amount of time. So the first one you do might be fabulous, and you go running boards. We have the highest selection of running boards at the best prices, blah, 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 right? And you really used every character you could, and you looked it over, and you're like, yeah, that's good, and I would click on that. By the 9th one you do, you're going, buy running boards here, right? Because that's how the brain works. So that's where, do your research, right? Get that Excel sheet and start putting these down so you can remember, right? And that's step 1. So once you've ended up doing that, and I'm going to go ahead and just submit this so I will show you what it does to, so now my title up here that used to just say pipe streamline, now it says running boards, right? So now it says it in the title, it says it in the URL, and I didn't do my description yet because I don't want to rank this site, right? So anyway, because it's a demo site, right? So anyway, so first step, find out how they're looking for it. Second step, on your website, if you have control of your category tree, right, make sure your category tree is, and this was something I was doing as well, right? If you were Jeep, you'd be doing stuff like this. But go in and make sure that your category names, engine, doesn't matter, right? No, engine parts, all right. So let's just go ahead and change that right now to say engine parts. Now if you're doing it from this area, then it knew that any parts that were assigned to that, Mama just got married and she has a new last name and they don't care. When you delete that, then they get orphaned and they do care. Anyway, so make sure though before you change any of this that there's a reason you changed it, right? And if you need some new part type, then add it and then again assign those parts to it. So and if you can't do that, work with your web developer, right? But don't do anything without checking how people are searching for it, because that's a waste of your time. So that's first. How are they searching for it? And make sure that when you go for it that you say exactly that, right? This is a primary, but I don't think a lot of people are searching sidesteps / running boards, but sidesteps are another big one, right? So anyway, so you get yourself a keyword tool, whichever one makes you feel more comfortable. Again, this one's free. I kind of like it. Shows me, daily what's on Google, Bing, and Yahoo, and I like being able to go in here. Now, if it says, if you go in here and you search for something and you don't see anything, fire engine party, that's funny. If you go in and you search something, I'm trying to come up with something that nobody searches. Okay. Come on, give me a word. Okay, so you see nothing here. That means that less than 10 people a month search that. It doesn't mean they don't. It just means that less than 10 people a month search that. I would go with a new word, right? So, all right, first things, find out how they're searching. Make the changes to your website. Once you've made those changes, you want to do the next steps. But let me tell you that Google indexes sites every 3 days. If you start to share this content day 1 and you use a content sharing software like I'm going to show you, and Google comes in after the 3 days and goes, how in the world did this URL get shared by 30, 50 different social networks when we didn't even know it existed yet? You're going to red flag them. So you're going to want to do this over a period of time, right? You're going to want to share it on your social networks slowly so that it trickles in and it's more organic, right? And so what do you do? Well, I use OnlyWire to share on the social networks, right? Sharing and linking back to your website is very important. For a while, it was the only thing, right? Links coming into your website was absolutely, one of the #1 reasons Google would rank your websites. However, not the case anymore. It still is important, but now it's who's linking and is it related to your business, and there's just a lot of different rules. And if they find that you are breaking their rules and you're trying to figure out how to get a crappy page on the front of Google, not only will they not do it, because they are smarter than you, they have more money than you, they sit in on all these SEO chat rooms and listen to how people overcome the rules, and they plug that hole. So stop wasting your time on the miracle, right? Again, you might get up for a day and then you might get sandboxed. And what sandboxed means is you will come up on your website, but never for any organic search, right? They will say, you are out of here. And so your shortcut did you nothing. It just made sure that, unless you go back and you do some heavy apology, and anyway, just don't, right? So I use OnlyWire. There's another one here that I was looking to see, and this one looks like there is what's the name of this one? Fan page robot. So I looked up fan page robot, and it looks pretty economical per month, right? I think it was like 19 bucks a month. So they also do the same thing that OnlyWire does. I think I pay $60 a year for OnlyWire, I think, which isn't much, right? But this, and I'm not going to go into this, right? This is for you to go figure out how to set it up. But when you are posting, hopefully you will post to a few accounts here and then post to a few accounts in a few weeks and maybe in a few months. Stretch that thing out so it becomes more organic and you don't get all the juice at once and then nothing after that, right? You also definitely want to get a Pinterest account and an Instagram account, right? People love images. And so if you are doing something, you have an image, post it on here and title it for that. Title it running boards and point it back to that part of your site, right? People will look on these types of sites now, even Google Images, right? They'll look on these sites for those pictures and use those to get to websites. So don't underestimate this power. So yeah, so the next step is you want to share that content on OnlyWire, on fan page. Google content sharing software, right? And you'll come up with a lot of them, whatever makes you comfortable. But if you have 0 links coming in to that, then Google goes, well, that looks like a good page, but if it was so good, wouldn't someone else be driving, be talking about it out there? So anyway, this is step 2. So first you find what the word is, and then you make your changes, and then you share your content, right? If you're going to put your Facebook page, your personal Facebook page, I want to tell you your friends are not going to like you too much, so maybe you get a different Facebook page. Again, you're not, no one's going to share that content because you're going to be overwhelming them with it, but I wouldn't use my personal Facebook. Alright, so then after you're done, right, and you've done the work, you've made the changes, you shared your content, now you want to find out where you stand, right, because nothing is happening. You don't eat an orange today and wake up 50 pounds lighter, right? Again, there is no guarantee that what you're doing is going to get you on the front page of Google. There's absolutely a guarantee that if you don't do what I'm talking about, you'll never be on the front page for this, right? So you need to monitor, because maybe you were so far away from even coming close to it. And so week 1, you went from number 500 in, the 925,000 results to number 100. And 3 weeks in, you're at number 50. And you're moving up, right? Because again, it's organic, and as you're doing this throughout your entire site, as you're making your site better, Google's paying attention to your entire site, and it's going, it's starting to look really good here, and this sitemap's good, and I'm getting a lot of good content, and people are searching for it, right? So you might end up going, well, I just don't want, I think it's wrong, I'm not ranking for it, when maybe it's on, it's number 11, and the next week it might have gone up to number 7, and then you change it, and you start all over again, and so that's not good. So I use SEMrush, and there are a lot of different, they're called SERPs, right? Search Engine Ranking Position, a SERP. What's my SERP? Some of them are a little bit better, some of them are a little bit wonky, but go and get yourself one and start to put your keywords in, right? So you could monitor what you're doing. I use SEMrush because I can go in and find a lot of stuff. I can put a URL in, I can find out what their organic search is, I can get an entire list of every keyword and what pages they go to. So for me, this $99 a month is pretty cool, because I like to see, I'm a nosy Nelly. And so when manufacturers call and talk to me about their data for ASAP, don't you think I go right over here and go, what you ranking for? And who's your competitors? All right, but you don't have to use this. Again, some of this stuff is free, like what's my SERP and stuff like that. All right, so so there it is in that nutshell, right? Is finding out how people are searching, making the change to your website, and again, remember that means that if this got changed or engine got changed to engine parts, that before you load your next brand up on your website, you're going to have to take a minute to go through their categories and make sure they're going to be changed with yours. And if that is just a notion that you're just like, oh my God, I just possibly can't, then this has been a complete waste of your time. But those who will start to reap the benefits, and that's money in your pocket. So I see so many people that want to spend all their time, put another brand on, put another brand on, let's put another. Stop it. Stop it. You want to be successful. Remember, 97% of all websites fail. You are not going to come out of the gate being Auto Anything or Summit. Facebook didn't start out the way it was. Amazon was a bookstore. They didn't start out. You aren't going to either. You don't have, well, maybe you do, but chances are you don't have their budget, their investor backing, their technology. Start out, take the time, target something, get SEO juice for it, and then expand, and then expand. But if you throw everything on there, thinking the more parts you have, the more Google goes, oh, well, there's another 10,000, I might as well start sending traffic there, you are wrong. And the only person you are going to make happy at the end of the night is yourself by thinking, well, I've been very busy. Busy work is not always profitable. So slow down, understand this, take your time, and you will be surprised. It will not happen overnight. Again, you will not eat a banana tonight and wake up 40 pounds lighter. There's some work involved. There's some time involved. And if you don't want to do all of it, don't do any of it, because you're just wasting your time. Doesn't mean you won't be successful. You could spend time on Facebook. You could buy pay-per-click ads. But if you're thinking, build it and they will come, no matter what you paid, you're wrong. You're wrong, right? You buy a house, pay $100,000. You buy a house, you pay $500,000. You're not buying the backyard going to be winning you some kind of trophy, right? That's the vehicle you're buying is your website. Now it's up to you to drive it, unless you want to pay an SEO company. And any of those companies that tell you for $79 a month they'll get you on the front page, why don't you just send me $79 a month and I'll tell you the same thing. And then it won't happen, right? I can rank you for all kinds of weird stuff, but nothing is really going to turn money into your pocket. Those that want to do a good job for you, they will charge you thousands of dollars a month. It will be 6 months before you see any results. And a lot of those guys are still working old stuff as well and are working more SEO for non-e-commerce structured websites. And so just because they're in business doing it doesn't mean that they do a good job of it. Don't we know that, right? Just because you sell cookies don't mean your cookies are good. So anyway, I hope this starts to make sense. You need to follow the recipe. It's about quality, not quantity. It's about taking the time to do it right, because again, Real Truck right here, they're number 1 and number 2. And so what do we know about running boards? What were those again? Running boards. 16,444 people a month see this. Do you think that they're not getting some sales out of that? Oh, Bubba, they are, right? Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if you got ranked for 3 or 4 things, right? That, again, you got lots of parts to choose from. But even if something only had 500 searches a month, to get in front of 500 people, that would work. But to try and get everything to everybody in one day, you shouldn't have put money into a website. You should have just stayed on Facebook, because it's not going to work for you. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get angry at everybody else, and it's no one's fault. 1,200,000,000 websites. 97% of them are not going to do what they need to do to be successful online because they didn't know. You can't say that anymore because you do know. And I will. I'll spend time with you on the phone, but I'm not going to have the same conversation 700 times. I get paid for my time. So when I spend time going over this again and again and again and again, and people just aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, what I've explained to them over and over and over again, not only did I not get paid for that time I spent with you, but I didn't get to charge anyone else for that, so I get double dipped. So I hope this doesn't sound rude, but I want to help those people who will do the work, but you have to do the work, right? And any other company would have charged you quite a bit of money for the information I just gave you. They might not have even given you all the tools because they want you to pay them to do this. And I don't want you to pay me to do this. I want you to do this by yourself. I just want you to do it right. So there we are. My name's Amanda. I'm the owner of Complete Web Solutions and ASAPnetwork.org. We are 100% vested in the aftermarket automotive arena. We are here to help the manufacturers and the dealers understand and sell more parts. And I really hope this video came in handy for you. All right. Thanks so much.